Hey, warriors. I want to look at something today, again, out of 1 Samuel. And there's going to be a theme to this. There'll be a lot of these videos that come out of 1 and 2 Samuel. Because David was a warrior, and he dealt with moral injury better than anybody in the Bible. And he had more moral injuries to deal with. So maybe that's why. There's a cool story today about Nabal and Abigail. And you can read it for yourself. It starts in chapter 25, which will save me some time. But when we get down to verses 23 through 27, there's two things I want to point out here. David's about to go kill Nabal and his entire family, all his servants, everything he's got, because Nabal disrespected him. But Nabal's wife, Abigail, hears about this, and she prevents it. And not only does she just prevent her husband and her whole family, all their servants from being killed, and herself probably, but she prevents David and his men, anybody involved. She prevents any future moral injury, or not future, but immediate future from this incident. And so I was thinking about that, and I said, well, let's just break this down and look at it and see how she prevents or avoids some moral injury here. First off, let's look at David's actions. He is about to jump headlong into something that he would regret later and have moral injury over. And he was about to do this by acting really impulsively. When we act on our impulses, and we take thought out of it, we're probably getting ourselves in a bad situation. David was operating out of a lack of self-control. David was feeding off of his flesh and not listening to his spirit. David was acting on emotions and not taking every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. And we know that that is an absolute key to preventing moral injury, is that act of taking every thought captive. So all of David's actions here are impulsive. He doesn't stop and think. On the other hand, let's look at what Abigail's response was and how she prevented this incident from turning into a disaster. First off, Abigail listened. She listened to her servant who came to her and explained the situation and what was about to happen. She didn't panic. Abigail did not get tunnel vision. She did not freak out and, oh my gosh, let's run away, let's hide. And then the last thing, and I think the most important thing here for her, Abigail took on the role of peacemaker. Peacemaker. Guys, if we seek peace, it will avoid a lot of, not just moral injury, but situations where we get angry, where we get anxious, stressed out, guilty, blah, blah, blah. If we take on the role of peacemaker and we make that a spiritual discipline and we start walking in that, walking it out every day, looking for opportunities to bring peace instead of strife, it will prevent a lot of future injuries to family, things that you say, even moral injuries. So I think that's such a great lesson from this story in 1 Samuel. Anyway, if you've got any questions or comments, just text me. Let me know.